Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the buffed Golbat in the Go Battle League, Great League Edition here as well. As we're going to take a look at a team that's also pretty interesting. We're going to have the Obstagoon in the back, which is going to be a very cheap team here as well. Obstagoon needs 10k for the secondary charge move, same goes for Golbat. Of course, we have the Shadow variant, so it needs 12k. And then we're going to have the Shadow variant of the Quagsire as our Say Swap. You can also still use the normal variant here. It's 50k for the second charge move on this Pokemon. But still, all in all, a pretty cheap team to use for the Go Battle League Great League here. And honestly, it worked out pretty well for me. Like, it's not going to be the craziest best team ever because we don't have a Mighty Cham, we don't have those extremely bulky Pokemon. But we have some fun Pokemon in here that you don't see all the time and it still works out really well. Went, I think, 7-3 with this team, which is really nice. So definitely a team that you can try out. Here we're going to see now the opponent having a Lantern. They still have 2 shields left, but we don't really care too much about this as we're going to be able to now go ahead, go for the CMP tie against the opponent as we have 2 Mud Bombs now stored. This will knock them out if they let this move go through, and they do let this move go through, allowing us to get to another charge move here with our Quagsire, doing a lot of damage against the opponent's Medicham as well, going for the combo play, going for the Poison Fang here to debuff the opponent's defenses, and at this point of time I can just go ahead and farm them all the way down as they also kind of forfeit there. Next opponent, let's take a look at this one. We're going to see a Venusaur in the lead, a very good lead for us. Of course, Golbat going to be able to hardwall this Pokemon as a Dugong comes in here against us. So we can go ahead, go for one cross chop as the opponent is about to debuff our defense here. They're going to shield up the first move, of course, because of that. But we're still going to have a pretty decent matchup against the opponent as 2 Icy Wind are not going to be enough to knock us out, and we're still going to get to the next cross chop before they can go for another debuff, allowing us here to go ahead and try to maybe even use the shield here. I actually would, yeah, I use the shield here as well, which is decent as a play, because I don't want to have the Venusaur aligned against our Quagsire. That would be definitely a little bit of an issue there. So we're going to be able to knock them out here. We're going to see the Medicham coming in, and this will allow us to go into our Quagsire against the opponent here, as I don't want to have this against the Venusaur. The opponent catches on a complete random time against me, which is very good for them, but doesn't really matter too much here, as I'm going to be able to just go ahead, go into my Golbat, farm them all the way down. We are not going to shield anything here. It's going to be all resisted or even double resisted like this Frenzy Plant here. And we can go for the Poison Fang spam here as the opponent going to let the first move go through. We don't really care too much. We're going to shield up immediately here. And we're just going to try to get the debuff onto the opponent here as the next Poison Fang is coming through against the opponent, forcing the no shield here actually, which still allows us to farm them all the way down and wins us the game here. So Golbat again going to be a very good answer against Medicham. We're going to be able to bait out the Medicham with our Quagsire Say Swap here, as we're actually going to do it in the exactly next game there, which is kind of fun to see. But then we can sweep endgame with our Obstagoon. This was the game plan for this one. We want to have a very neutral Say Swap here that's still going to have some potential at least to even get like a shield or something from a Medicham with our Quagsire here, or just in general puts us into a range where we can just easily farm it down with our Golbat. And as you're going to see here, another Power Punch, we're actually going to be able to reach another Mud Bomb in time, either realigning here, which would be even better for us, or getting the shield. And we're actually going to get the shield here, which is also fine for us. We can go ahead, go into our Golbat now, farm them all the way down, get enough energy here to do some damage against the opponent. But no, we see the Obstagoon in the back, not the Obstagoon beam. Of course, the Bastion in the back there, as we have our own Obstagoon, which is going to function as a core breaker now, as it got out already the Medicham. We have now the Sableye against us, and it's only Pokemon that you can completely beat with the Obstagoon, which is going to be amazing here. Actually using the shiny variant here, which maybe is not the right one there. I actually thought that I used a different one. I think I restarted the game. I think I have 2 different variants of this. The shiny one has different IVs than the non-shiny variant, but right now there's like some kind of bug sometimes when you restart the game after you lag or something. Sometimes the team doesn't save, and I definitely tried to use a different one than this shiny variant there. But yeah, that's kind of nice to know. Maybe I'm just going to change the IVs on the right side, maybe not. I'm not sure about this one. But this is definitely not the one that I wanted to use while playing this, but maybe I just never realized. The shiny variant, by the way, has very bad IVs in terms of yeah, for example here, you see now on the right side it's a different one. Like, I don't know what really happened there, but the shiny variant has bad IVs, which gives you a breakpoint against a Noctowl, while the other one here is a Broguiere variant. What do you do against an Altaria lead? This is most likely one of the worst possible leads that you're going to be able to face with this team. So what I usually do is I go for one charge move with my Golbat and then swap out, because now they would be able, like, they would be in range for one Stone Edge from our Quagsire. In hindsight, most I would just go ahead and go straight into Quagsire, because even if they swap out, it's going to be fine, but even if they stay in, you can hit a Stone Edge against them. You would be able to still put them into a range where you can farm them down afterwards, so maybe that would be even a better play. Here we're going to see the Azumarill going for one Ice Beam, allowing us to go back into our Golbat. Going back now most likely into the Altaria as well. Let's take a look at this one. Yes, we see the Altaria coming back in. We can go for the Poison Fang here, which hopefully going to be good for us. Let's see what they're going to do here in the back. They're going to let this move go through, allowing us to farm them all the way down. And this can be really good for us. If they have something weak to our counter user in the back, we're going to be fine here. But no, it's going to be the Medicham in the back. And this is really bad. This is completely bad for us. There's not a lot that I can do at this point of time. I'm forced to shield this move up. There's nothing I can do about this. And they have Power Punch. It's getting even worse here right now, as Power Punch on Medicham now going to allow them to do way more damage as well against my Obstagoon. And now they're in a range where they can just knock me out here. Like, honestly, while they have like a low HP, Power Punch is just chunking so much. Look at the damage, but no, we can still farm them down, and we can even farm down the Altaria. So this was actually a really bad lead for us, or in general a really bad matchup for us, but we still came back here, which was really nice to see. We're not going to come back from this one though. This is something that can happen as well. You see me here swapping into the Obstagoon instead of my Quagsire, because Quagsire is way better against the opponent's Lantern, which of course is a hard wall to our lead. But like this, we of course have the worst possible Say Swap against us as well. So we got completely walled in the lead, we got completely walled on the Say Swap. And at this time, there's not a lot that I can do. Like, there's not a lot that I can do about this one. I can now swap out into my Quagsire, but as you're going to see here right now as well, I'm going to be able to catch a charge move from the opponent. But let's see what they have in the back. Of course, a Charizard, which, while it seems to be a decent matchup for me, it is just not a decent matchup for Quagsire. Quagsire always basically loses against a Charizard as far as I know, especially as a Shadow variant on both sides. But yeah, still, we're going to be able to go ahead, go for one Poison Fang here, swap out into our Quagsire, and we're going to see here right now that we're going to see the Sky Attack coming through here. I'm going to let this move go through. We can still tank one even though we are Shadow, and we see the Medicham coming in, which is definitely the one that we're going to want to see here, because yeah, Medicham is something that we don't want to see with our Obstagoon, of course, in the back. So we are going to be very fine here, going for the Mud Bomb and getting them lower. Of course, still our Golbat here has to take one charge move, which you're going to shield out, which is most likely going to be the Psychic, which is going to be the case here as well. We're going to have now the incoming Altaria again, but hopefully we're going to have now both answers for the Obstagoon kind of out of the way, which would be the Altaria, of course, as well as the Medicham. So hopefully Obstagoon going to have a decent matchup in the back, whatever they're going to have in the back. I just hope it's not going to be another counter user. That would be very fine for us if that wouldn't be the case, and it's going to be the Registeer. It is just pure pain. This matchup is very decent for me, but it's only very decent for me if you have 2 shields left, and they don't have 2 shields left. So yeah, there was actually still a way for me to win this game. And the only way for me to win this game there is if I would have stayed in the beginning with Golbat, which I didn't, and then try to catch the incoming Zap Cannon if they went for that one with my Obstagoon, go for a charge move there, have like enough for Shadow Ball stored. But honestly, why do I encounter 3 times in a row an Altaria lead here? Like, it is not really going towards our plans as well here. I feel like if we just had a little bit more luck with the matchups as well, like honestly, what is this? If I had some more luck with the matchups as well, I think this team would have even worked a little bit better, even though it already did work pretty well. But we actually had like a lot of insane unlucky matchups here, which I didn't really expect to see that often. Like, I didn't expect to see so many Altaria back to back to back in the lead. It's not really a good Pokemon in the current meta because of all the ice types around. So I'm kind of curious on how good this team would be without the weird matchups here. But still, we're going to have here the Altaria against us again. We're going to get the debuff onto the opponent's defense, allowing us to go for another Poison Fang, which is going to do more damage. Thanks to the buffed variant of Poison Fang here right now, we're going to put them into range where we can farm them all the way down. This wouldn't be the case otherwise. And we're going to see now the Marowak coming in. I could have maybe even went for the Shadow Ball. I'm not sure if I survived that one. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, I would have survived with exactly 1 HP in a dream. But it doesn't matter anyway, because we're going to have now our Obstagoon, which can take those Bone Clubs pretty easily. Going for the Night Slash here right now, going to be able to do a lot of damage here and going to be able to completely wall the opponent, as well as, yeah, they're going to do some neutral damage with both of their fast and charge move, but like, Bone Club is a really bad charge move. It's just a very decent bait move here, I guess, on Marowak, but if Bone Club would have been like a little bit more buffed, it would have definitely helped this Pokemon out a little bit more. we're going to see a Scrafty against us in the lead. This is going to be a decent one here for sure, but still we have to be a little bit careful with the potential of the foul play coming against us, so we're going to use a shield here. Turns out my opponent is a master baiter, as we're going to be able to now only shield up the power up punch. We have to go for another move here because they are at another foul play now. And of course they're going to shield us up, survive with exactly 1 HP now after the shield. And yeah, we're going to use 2 shields here now in the lead matchup, which is not ideal, but we're gonna get out the Charm Ninetales. And as you're going to see here right now, Golbat is going to town. What is wrong with Golbat here? Look at this Golbat going to completely destroy the opponent, allowing us to knock out the Ninetales, and we see the Lantern coming in, allowing us to go for another Poison Fang. Just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and go into my Obstagoon first, trying to get the shield from the opponent, try to get them low here. They have an energy lead here, that's why I didn't go into my Quagsire, but this game is over. Like, there is nothing my opponent can do here, really. I will be able to reach another Sky Attack, a Night Slash afterwards here, and you see already the health of my opponent, it declined pretty fast. They can go for 3 serves if they want to, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to shield this move up here for whatever reason. Honestly, which Pokemon could I have in the back where you can win this with that little amount of HP and literally 0 energy on your account? So I don't know, like there's nothing that the opponent could have won against, but this is going to be fine for us. Thanks for the game, Trainer. This was a very decent one. We see a Pokemon that is kinda gone from the meta with Trevenant, but now it's gonna back, I guess, as you're going to encounter it here against us. We see the Golbat now against the Noctowl matchup. I didn't know what I wanted to do here. In hindsight, I should have swapped out earlier into my, what's called Obstagoon there, after 1 Poison Fang, because it would have allowed me to have the matchup pretty easily there, pretty decent there. But we're gonna do this right now. After we, now going to be able to catch a Sky Attack. They have 1 HP left, which is really unfortunate. But what we're going to see here is now the Trevenant coming in. So seemingly they're going to be very weak against Obstagoon in the back, which is interesting. So they're going to have like some kind of Steel type in the back most likely, or another Dark type. So, yeah, we're going to see what we're going to feint here. We're going to get the Seed Bomb against us, which still doesn't knock us out, even though the damage got buffed. Of course, the energy got nerfed, which is very decent for us. But let's take a look at this one. They're going to still get to another charge move here, which going to be the Seed Bomb, going to knock me out. I can go back into my Golbat. I can go ahead and go for the full farm down here, because the full farm down going to be very decent for me. Shadow Ball coming through, and they're going to go ahead and go into a Lantern. And this point of time, I'm like, why didn't they go into the Lantern against my Obstagoon? Like, why did you completely sack your Trevenant there? I have no idea why they didn't do this. Like, it doesn't really make too much sense. I think there's still a decent chance of winning this game if they didn't do that, but okay. Still, thanks to the game, Trainer. And we can now take a look at the final, actually the final game most likely for today's video. We're going to encounter Quagsire in the lead. We're going to be able to swap into our own Quagsire to catch a Stone Edge here, which is turning out to be a Mud Bomb. Nice to catch the bait from the opponent, but hey, it's going to be okay, as you can now gonna get out the Alolan Ninetales, where you can go ahead and go for 2 Mud Bombs instead of going for 1 Stone Edge. Stone Edge most likely would one-shot the opponent, but Mud Bomb going to be able to now get the shield and still some damage onto the opponent, putting them hopefully into range for 1 Poison Fang. Poison Fang got buffed, so I expected this would knock them out here. Let's take a look at this stab, and yes, it's going to knock out the opponent here. As you see, the Quagsire came back in. Shadow Ball is coming their way. This would do a ton of damage here, and it's going to get shielded from the opponent, which we're gonna retaliate here with our own shield against the opponent's Stone Edge. This point of time, I just want to stay in here. Don't really want to do anything else other than going for 1 Poison Fang here against the opponent's Noctowl. Because now we can go back into our Obstagoon and we have a great matchup here right now. We're going to be able to take 2 charge moves from the opponent with our Obstagoon here. And we will see now the Night Slash coming through, which will do some pretty decent damage here against the opponent. We should be able to farm them all the way down. Oh, never mind, we're gonna go for the charge move here instead, because they were at their own charge move here as well right now, allowing the opponent not to get their own off, and I will be able to now let this move go through and go for a finishing blow with my Golbat here, going for 1 Shadow Ball to finish up this final match for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is a very cheap team to use for the Great League right now, with some buffed Pokemon here, with the Golbat as well as the Quagsire. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, also subscribe if you haven't already. Easiest way to support this channel here right now. Thanks for all these subs recently as well, I appreciate it. Otherwise, you see 2 videos on the screen right now. Check them out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.